But let's talk about knowing the price of everything. Oh, well, this is a question we always ask this, politicians, do you know what the price of milk is? And people say, well, it's not really relevant. Well, it is, of course, if you're setting benefits and the like. But it turns out an awful lot of Brits don't know the price of basically everyday grocery items. TV presenter and journalist Anna Richardson joins me right now to discuss this. Good morning to you.
Hello, Julia.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well indeed. Well, no, I'm not very well. I'm really cross about pretty much every news story right now. And so I'm trying to cheer myself up. But this is it. This is a new report. It's from the Real Price Report. It's from Aldi's supermarket. And basically, and I think this is fascinating, that most Brits think that groceries cost a lot more than they actually do.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because, as you say, Aldi commissioned their Real Price Report, and even though 77% of us, and I include myself in this, say that we always check the price of products before we put something in our basket, we're actually overestimating the cost of those baskets by nearly 20%. So the fact is, we think we're paying more, and we actually are paying more for everyday items, which is quite extraordinary.
Well, that's it. I mean, look, I can certainly remember a time many years in my life when I needed to know what loo roll cost, what milk, what bread cost, because I was on a very, very tight budget. I'm very lucky, and I'm not on a tight budget now, and I don't have to worry. And I also tend to do the big shop, and so I don't really look at the individual items as much, because I'm thinking, well, I know it's roughly whatever it is, it'll be okay. But for an awful lot of families, the 20% difference is huge in terms of their family budget.
Of course it is.
So how come so many people aren't aware? And it's the fact that people think they're more expensive. Isn't it because people aren't aware, say, of often they're buying things on special offers, buy one get one free or something like that?
All of the above. So bear in mind that, because we're in the situation we're in a global pandemic, it's more important than ever, isn't it, that we are aware of what we're spending, because money is tight for everybody. So I think that we are getting caught up in convenience. I think we're getting caught up in, the offers, the very confusing offers that can be out there in supermarkets. And really this research shows that it does make a difference where you shop as well. So again, people that do shop in Aldi really are super shoppers, because they really do know the price of everyday items, whereas I think when we tend to shop around and go into other supermarkets as well, we're perhaps a little bit more laissez-faire about it. So I think that we get caught up in the convenience, caught up in doing the big shop. We think that we're checking prices accurately, but the truth is most of us don't actually really know the real cost of something. And I might just put you on the spot, Julia.
Oh God, no, don't. I can listen. If you want to ask me about champagne and Sancerre, then I'm your girl. But otherwise...
You say that right, because
actually
they're overestimating bottles of wine by double. So actually, on average, how much does the average bottle of white wine cost?
You could probably get it for about a fiver these days, can't you?
£3.60.
Really?
So you're not far off, but you can see again that's probably about a 20% difference. So you are one of those people.
Yeah, that would be a typical sort of overestimate. Of course, as you say, a lot of it depends which supermarkets you're going to. I have to say, but this is it. But a lot of things again, they do cost very differently in different supermarkets. And it's, if you buy something in the local 24/7 shop, you're going to be paying a lot more. When someone says how much is the price of a pint of milk or a loaf of bread, it genuinely is massively different in different supermarkets, what kind of bread, and whether it's a 24/7 shop.
Of course, it depends where you shop. It does depend on where you shop. But nevertheless, actually, if you go on average prices, the average price of bread, if you're talking about bread, is actually only 52 pence. So, and yes, I wouldn't have thought that it was anywhere near that cheap, if you like.
No.
So it really does depend on where you're choosing to go.
Okay, absolutely fascinating. Anna Richardson, TV presenter and journalist, thank you very much. Matthew Lesh, I'm wondering, would you be able to get that about right? I'm thinking I can definitely remember buying wine for £2.40 a bottle when I was at uni, so it's not gone up much.
It's probably not particularly good wine, though. You end up paying for it the next day in the hangover, don't you? Yeah,
well, there is that, isn't there? But it's interesting. It does matter. It does matter what what food costs. These are basic staples. When you look at what people, particularly on the lowest incomes, what they spend their money on. It's the rent, it's the energy costs, it's travel costs, it's food costs, it's the essentials. This does matter, and this of course ties into the conversation we had earlier about this new green industrial revolution. Yeah, stopping the sale, taking away the value of people's diesel and petrol cars and the resale value, more expensive electric cars, more expensive electricity. That's going to put the cost up of all of these staple goods.